una vida más sana.
Sûrement, ça me rend plus heureuse.
You don't die.
Eradicating toxins.
Ça nettoie le rein.
Permite mejor digestión.
Beauty.
La piel, te cuida la piel.
Your skin will be shiner.
On rajeunit.
Your urine is the appropriate color.
Heal the hangover.
Think better, think clearer.
I've read somewhere that every problem you have can be solved with water.
I love how many people have really informed reactions on the question. Honestly, there were a lot of really good answers in there, especially from, I think it was Rachel, the hairstylist. She has a lot of good information. I don't know where she's getting it, but she's spot on. Well, first of all, your body is made up of more water than anything else. So the average person will have about 50 to 60% of their whole body by mass is made of water. So I think because it's so elementally part of us, people obviously tend to associate that with an importance. That being said, scientifically, if you ask people what are some of the main benefits of water, the answer gets a little blurrier. People aren't exactly sure why, but it's more, I think, of an emotional reaction of surely it must be something good for me. So good hydration is extremely important. We know this, of course, for people who lose a lot of water and who do physical activity. So for instance, if you are running a marathon, if you work in a very hot environment, or if you perform labor that's particularly physical, it's incredibly important for you to remain hydrated for two reasons. One is that water is how your body cools itself. So if you don't have enough water to sweat, your body temperature will rise and that can be dangerous. But second of all, water is also the main way that the body transports oxygen to your muscles. And so if you don't have enough water in the body, those two processes are in competition. Why is water good for the general population? It gets a little trickier. The reason it's tricky is because the reason we know that exercise is good for you or eating fruits and vegetables are good for you is that all over the world there are massive population surveys that ask people about these behaviors, and they look at their health outcomes and they can conclude that, aha, people who eat a lot of fruits and vegetables tend to have less cancer, for instance. Most of these studies never thought to ask people about what they were drinking. And even if they did, they didn't ask about water. And so the primary research instrument that we have to make a lot of these connections between a behavior and health, they just don't exist for water. What we do have, though, is we can look at signs that your body is working hard to hold on to water, which probably means you're not drinking enough. So we can look at your urine, and we can look at a hormone in the body that just basically holds on to water when you're not drinking enough. And what we know today is that people who don't appear to be well hydrated from those markers have a higher risk of developing chronic kidney disease, diabetes, and metabolic syndrome. We also know that not drinking enough is associated with cognitive and mood impairments, so anger, frustration, fatigue, confusion, and that just drinking more water can reverse those symptoms. If that question had a good answer, I would not have a job. Honestly, that would be like saying what is the exact right amount of protein for everybody. It's a different amount for each individual. And today, there is not enough research to determine exactly what that amount would be as a function of your characteristics. That's something that we're working on. You know, what we eat is so anchored in tradition and in culture and not always necessarily in what's good for our bodies. And in particularly for children, if we don't think to offer them water, they will never generate, a taste for it. So I think one of the major things you can do is simply to have it available. Keeping a bottle or a glass of water on your desk while you're working, offering water as first choice to your children, and really creating a hygienic environment by having these sources of water available is fundamentally important. Water quality and water safety is absolutely fundamental. In many countries, if there is no access to good quality water, who needs to go get it during the day? Well, usually it's the women and the girls. And so that impacts everything from access to education, access to employment, poverty. So I think there's a whole cascade of social benefit that can be brought around by access to good water.